Hi guys, welcome to this new video which is about multi-cloud security. This is a topic which I get asked about a lot. Multi-cloud security. How do you secure multiple clouds? What are the security challenges of having a multi-cloud environment? So I thought it would be a good idea to focus on this and just like go over what if you have more than one cloud environment. Now, in an ideal world, you would not have this, right? You would only be on Azure or Google Cloud or AWS, right? You would be focusing on that. Your infrastructure would be there and there would be no multi-cloud environments. Unfortunately, we do not live in such a world, and multi-cloud and hybrid cloud environments where you have multiple cloud platforms are very much possible, and they cause a huge amount of headache for cloud security teams. So I just want to go over this and talk about how we can secure such an environment. Before we move ahead, guys, I would be great if you could subscribe to my channel, so I get and you can get notified. That way, you'll get notified when I subscribe new videos, and I put in the URL of my blog also. So, okay, let's talk about multi-cloud environment, guys. Now, yeah, first of all, you might be asking why. You might be have this expression on your face because you already have one environment where you're like investing so much time and energy. Why on earth would you have more than one cloud? Well, there are multiple. Top three reasons are, well, you could have regulations. So what could happen that you have already have an environment and then you move to a new location, and that possibly that cloud provider is not present there, or it is present there but their data centers are not there, it's out of the country, and the country will not allow you to move your data out. A lot of countries like the Middle East, like other countries I can mention, they do not want their data moving out of that geography for their specific regulations. So you're bound now, you can't use your own cloud provider, you have to go with another cloud provider. So now that's what happens. Now you have more than one cloud environment, or you could possibly buy or acquire another company, or another company could acquire you, and you're using another cloud environment. So until everything gets consolidated, you could have multiple cloud environments, or you could have dependencies, right? Like you don't want to have dependencies. Sorry, like you don't want to put all your critical applications onto one cloud provider. What if something happens, it goes down, right? So you want to distribute that workload. Management might decide, or it might be cost. One cloud provider might be costing you too much, and you want to see another cloud provider would be willing to give you like a good discount, or their services might cost less. So there are multitudes of reasons for why you could have like a multi-cloud environment, but it is very much possible. How possible is it? So we had this recent survey done by Flexera, the 2021 State of the Cloud report. So around, you guys, you can see 92% in their cloud strategies, they have plans to go with a multi-cloud environment. So please do not take this lightly. This is very much a possibility. I don't think that you will be having this sort of one beautiful single environment with a cloud provider. You could have very much have multi-cloud environments very easily happening in your organization. So what are the challenges? Now we have understood this. So let's talk about, guys. In my opinion, with the top four problems that you immediately face, and I've worked in many environments where you have multi-cloud environments, believe me. So first is cloud competencies, like the staff not being trained. Most teams, like I said, most of your security teams or your IT teams, they are they might not even be trained on one provider, let alone two. So if you already have Azure, now you're moving to AWS, or you have AWS, you're moving to Azure. The teams might not even be trained fully on that one. So that might be, it becomes a huge challenge for your IT teams. They're already stretched, and they will have a big problem with this. Okay, and apart from that, user management, identities. Your cloud environment increases, user management will become increasingly complex. Each cloud has its own identity, right? Which is set up differently, different ways of authorizing, access privileges. AWS IAM is different from Azure Active Directory, right? So it can become a major hassle until you have a strategy set up for handling this from the start, right? So I'll talk about how we can like solve this particular problem. Standardization. So single misconfiguration on the cloud can be enough for your environment to get compromised, right? And this risk increases with each environment that gets added. So you want to make sure that your security posture is the same, right, across the board on each cloud environment. So it becomes more and more difficult as you keep putting more and more clouds. And lastly, visibility. As a CISO, or maybe the head of security, or maybe the CIO, CTO, you want to know what's happening where and when in the cloud, right? And multi-cloud environments become a huge challenge. You don't know what's happening, what changes are happening, where it's happening. So these are a few of the challenges which can be really problematic. So let's talk about my top three suggestions. One suggestion I'll give you right away, the one I mentioned earlier in another video, cloud security roadmap. Please make sure that your user awareness is there. So that first point goes away with this. Just make sure your users are being properly trained and you're getting the required trainings. And but you want to move away as much of this workload away. So how do we do that, guys? So the first step before anything, should have single sign-on, SSO, right? Like I said, the user environment will become increasingly complex. You don't want to be authenticating differently to Oracle Cloud or AWS or Google Cloud Azure. You should have your own one SSO where you're authenticating, and from there you're accessing your different cloud environments. This is the only way you will be able to manage it. That way you will have a single source of truth, a single way to grant and revoke access. This becomes a nightmare as you add more and more cloud. So please focus on this. Make this a part of your security strategy, guys. What else? Cloud security management solution. I've talked about this in another video, and I'll add it there as a link. But like I said, one misconfiguration is enough, and it keeps added. You could have potentially hundreds to thousands of changes happening within your environment, right? That is impossible for security teams to track unless you invest in like a cloud security posture management tool that will automate your detection and it'll automatically fix also. And you need to make sure you have a cloud agnostic one so it can support all the different clouds, right? It'll give you dashboards. It'll give you that. It will solve both the problem of visibility and standardization in one go. So you need to have this as part of your roadmap, guys. And it'll give you automation also. Please forget about, in a multi-cloud environment, you can forget about your security teams getting email alerts and then fixing non-compliant things on the cloud. You need to have automation there. So all of these things can get solved by a cloud security posture management tool. I'm not going to recommend any specific vendor. That you can take a look at yourself based on your specific use case. Okay. So, and lastly, what else is there, guys? Okay, infrastructure as code. Moving to infrastructure as code. Please, the old days where you used to log into a management console and then spin up infrastructure, that is gone. That you cannot even do in a like properly multi-cloud environment. The only way you can have secure and consistent infrastructure, you need to have ISE as a standard part of your processes. That way, what you can do, you can put the security within the code. So when your new VMs and your new environments are being spun up, you know for a fact these controls are already there, and you can have consistency across the board. So you know that VM will get deployed similarly in Azure AD or in AWS or in Google Cloud with just a few changes. So you can have that. So please make sure you move away from manual provisioning of infrastructure and you move to infrastructure as code. And that way you can put your security within your infrastructure pipeline itself. And that is the only way you can manage it. So I hope you understand. These are my top 3 suggestions, guys. If you are provided you are able to implement this, believe me, your life becomes considerably easier and you will see a massive improvement in how you're managing and your load will go down for your security team. Okay. Okay, let's wrap. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed watching that video. And I hope it was a little bit educational, informative about what we talked about multi-cloud security and the possible risks that come with it. If you like this video, please do subscribe to this channel below and like this video so that you get notified if I upload more videos. Thank you so much for watching and I wish you all the best in your multi-cloud journey.